The Golden State Warriors needed this. As you all know, the Warriors released a statement saying that Stephen Curry will be coming back shortly after the All-Star break. And with only a couple of games left until he comes back, the Golden State Warriors' current roster needs to continue to win, and they got that done against the Washington Wizards in the most recent game, where they beat them 126 to 135. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 reasons why the Golden State Warriors were able to pull this win off against the Washington Wizards, and how they can continue to pull this off while Stephen Curry is out and be on their way to another NBA championship. So make sure you like this video, and if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. And if you don't have NBA League Pass but want to watch the Warriors games for less than a cup of coffee, don't forget to join my Patreon, where I live stream every Golden State Warriors game so you can watch it anytime, anywhere. The first reason is that Andrew Wiggins is playing at an all-star level once again. Now, as you all know, Andrew Wiggins was injured for some time and he's recently come back. However, he has had a little bit of a shooting slump and also just performance in general, and now we are starting to see him get back to his full form. Maybe his injuries are starting to be behind him, but in the most recent game against the Washington Wizards, Andrew Wiggins had 29 points, where he shot 12 from 22 and also 3 from 6 from 3-point. So this is honestly fantastic to see, because Andrew Wiggins is actually a great 3-point shooter nowadays, and it's something that has surprised a lot of people. A lot of NBA players, and also especially the Washington Wizards, left him open a lot on the 3, and Andrew Wiggins made them pay. And that's what I love to see from someone like Wiggins. In this game, dropping 29 points was honestly insane, and he did everything out there from inside scoring, mid-range scoring, and also 3-point, and I think that's what makes him so dangerous out there, which is one of the reasons why I think Wiggins playing at this high of a level makes the Golden State Warriors even better. Now, on top of all of this, Andrew Wiggins also had himself 7 rebounds and 4 assists, which was fantastic to see. We have seen his rebounding numbers and also point numbers have decreased over some time now, but it looks like he's getting back to his full form, which is fantastic to see. His rebounding really did help due to the fact that Draymond Green actually had 0 rebounds in this game. Kavon Looney had 13, but for Wiggins to have 7 was really good, and it really did help them push over the edge against this Washington Wizards team, who have some tall players such as Porzingis, for example. But Wiggins was doing everything out there, and if you looked at his on-ball defense as well, he was causing a lot of havoc to Bradley Beal and cost him a lot of trouble. And I think that's what Andrew Wiggins is definitely here for, and he continues to surprise us every single day. If you really watched the Washington Wizards game, you saw Andrew Wiggins really take advantage of his matchup. As you all know, Wiggins is around 6'7", 6'8" pretty much, and he was able to get in great post-up position and able to fade away in the post very easily and got a couple of buckets that way. And I think that's something that he should definitely continuing to add to his game, and what Warriors should have him take greater looks at. I think his post game is actually very strong, but it's kind of underrated, as you know, the Golden State Warriors, they like to play fast, catch and shoot type basketball, but having someone in that post that can really work it, someone like Andrew Wiggins, I think would honestly be very good for this Warriors team. So it could be something they did look at, but I do think Wiggins continuing to play at this high level is going to make Golden State Warriors very good, not only just for the regular season, but for the playoffs and especially NBA Finals time. The second reason is that Jordan Poole was playing that pure point guard position. Now, I think this is something that is so important and something that we respect from Stephen Curry, but you need that someone that is able to drive in on pick and rolls and dish it out to your star players, such as Klay Thompson or Wiggins on the 3. And that's what Jordan Poole was able to do in this game. And even though he only scored 14 points, what he provided out there was spacing out the floor and getting players like Klay and Wiggins and even Draymond and Looney at times open for a bucket. And I think this is something Stephen Curry does very well, and I love how Jordan Poole has implemented that ever since getting into that starting lineup as that point guard position. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson played great, do not get me wrong, but Klay Thompson off a pick and roll just does not work. There were a lot of times he actually got stolen off, which was unfortunate to see, but on top of that, the movement just wasn't really there. He's a little bit slow, a little bit clunky when it comes to ball handling. We don't really see Klay Thompson crossing up people left, right, and center. That's usually Stephen Curry's job. So I do think Jordan Poole, being the main ball handler, coming off those pick and rolls and finding Klay Thompson open when he drives in, I think is probably the best way to play Klay Thompson. And that's one of the reasons why he was able to have a pretty good performance night when it comes to Klay dropping 27. But Poole, on the other hand, also had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So he did a fantastic job. It may not be the stats we always expect from someone like Jordan Poole, but if he does his role right, continuing to pass the ball out, get people open such as Wiggins, such as Klay, then you really can't complain at that. I would rather Jordan Poole have only 10 points, but a bunch of assists from Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins, and get them both a 25-30 piece each. I think that is definitely more the play style that the Golden State Warriors have, and although they are missing Stephen Curry, Jordan Poole has definitely filled in that seat of providing that playmaking and distributing that this team definitely needs. And it definitely showed in the stat sheet as well. If we look at Golden State Warriors, they did win 135-126, and the whole game, Golden State Warriors were pretty much up most of the time. And I do think it was definitely an effect of the pace that Jordan Poole was pushing, also the attacking positions that he was getting in order to free up his teammates or even free up himself. So I think that is very important to see. And I think when it comes to Jordan Poole really accepting this role as a pure point guard in this scenario where Stephen Curry is out, he's done a fantastic job to be able to adapt his game where he's usually just the main guy scoring and adapt it to becoming the distributor. So if Jordan Poole can keep this up, it would be fantastic for the rest of the games that Stephen Curry is out. The third reason is Kavon Looney's incredible defense. Now I think Kavon Looney is one of the most underrated players, not only in just the Warriors but in the NBA in general. In this game, he actually had 13 points, 13 rebounds, and also 4 assists, while also shooting 6 from 7 from the field. So Kavon Looney was doing everything out there, and I think it is fantastic to see that he was doing it at a very high efficiency. He only missed one shot, and he even made his one only free throw that he had. And I think if you can get Kavon Looney to have 10 points and maybe around 15 rebounds a game, you can definitely see the Golden State Warriors winning every single time. Kavon Looney is doing all the dirty work, and he has done a fantastic job over the last couple of games, and also with Stephen Curry out, to do that job properly. As you all know, Stephen Curry is actually the third leading rebounder in the Golden State Warriors, which is surprising to a lot of people, but with Stephen Curry down, Kavon Looney has also had to take a huge burden and weight on his shoulders to really provide the rebounds for this team. Draymond is a great rebounder as well, but in this game he actually had 0 rebounds, so Kavon Looney was grabbing everything, and I think it is fantastic to see what he was able to do out there. I think Kavon Looney definitely needs a bigger opportunity to be able to score. I do think that they really do focus on three-pointers like Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson. However, if you do find Kavon Looney, he is a big guy in the paint, and he can honestly give you buckets down low. And I do think that is something that is missing from the Golden State Warriors lineup, and when it comes to the play style that they run, they definitely could find Kavon Looney. Looney's got a little bit of a soft touch around the ring, and he would be able to give you 15-20 points easily, especially when it comes to penetrating that inside defense. So I think it really was important, especially against a game like the Washington Wizards. They do have someone like Porzingis in there, but Porzingis likes to play outside, so for him to be able to really penetrate the inside and get buckets in, I think was honestly fantastic, and it really did cause a lot of problems for the Washington Wizards. You really do see this because Kavon Looney had 4 assists, and you did see on a lot of plays where Kavon Looney would attract so much attention, maybe a double team because he was so big, and he would just pass it out to someone like Klay, Wiggins, or Poole out on the 3. So I do think if Kavon Looney continues to play this way, it will be fantastic, not only just for the Warriors for the rest of the season, but also for the playoffs time, because he is going to be that main center that they're going to need to be the defensive anchor for this roster. The fourth reason is that the second unit stepped up to play. And I think this is really important because when Stephen Curry went down, a lot of players, even in the second unit, are looking at each other like who's going to be that guy that's going to give us that scoring. When you have someone like Stephen Curry in your team, the play runs through him, or the game runs through him, which makes it very easy for you just to rely on him to be able to get you a bucket, to be able to get you open and all that. But now that Stephen Curry is out, the second unit has had to rely on each other to be able to provide that, and I think they have done a fantastic job to really trust each other. If we look at some of the players, we've got Ty Jerome. He had 9 points and also 7 assists. He was doing a lot of great things out there. He also shot 4 from 5, so very, very efficient. But on top of all that, guys, the 7 assists is what I like to see from someone like Ty Jerome. He really provided a lot out there. If he wasn't able to score, he was able to get you an assist, and if he wasn't able to get you an assist, he got a bucket for you. And I think that was fantastic to see from someone like Ty Jerome, who's honestly just getting a feel for playing with this Warriors team and what the Warriors is about. If we look at someone else like DiVincenzo, he always provides that much scoring, and he's done that once again. He had 17 points in this game and also went 6 from 9 from the field goal and also 5 from 8 from 3. So he had a very high percentage shooting night as well. On top of that, we also have JaMychal Green, who absolutely went crazy, and he had 14 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, and also went perfect from the field and 3-point line. So JaMychal Green was feeling it, and on top of that, to not finish off, we also have Kuminga, who had 7 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, and also went 3 from 5. So they honestly played fantastic. Obviously, DiVincenzo and Green are going to be your main scorers, but if anyone gives you 5, 6, 7 points a game, that's what you definitely need from that second unit, and the rest can take care of itself. So I think it was great to see the second unit really come together and play as a team, but on top of that, they've had to rely on each other and not not just someone like Stephen Curry or, Jordan Poole when he was in the second unit to rely on them for scoring. DiVincenzo has had to step up, which he did. Jermichael Green had to step up, and that's what he did. And also Ty Jerome has had to provide that point guard experience in order for them to be able to really control that second unit, especially against Washington Wizards second unit. So it really is important to see the second unit thriving and continuing to push further, because that's what's going to help you win NBA championships, especially down the line. The fifth reason is obviously Klay Thompson going off for almost 30. So in this game, guys, Klay Thompson actually had 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now, Andrew Wiggins was actually the highest scorer, but on top of that, Klay Thompson also did provide a lot of scoring as well, which was very vital to this Golden State Warriors win. He also went 10 from 21 from the field and 4 from 13 from 3, so he did a fantastic job when it comes to percentages as well. And I do think when it comes to Klay Thompson, he was able to provide that defense at times, even though he is still coming back from those injuries that haven't had him at 100% just yet. But Klay Thompson can still be that 3-and-D guy. Definitely you'd have Wiggins on your main player, which is why they had him on Beal most of the game, but Klay Thompson can still provide you that great defense that you need, and he definitely was showing that in this game. Whether he was guarding Beal, whether he was guarding somewhere else, you really saw what he was capable of doing on the defensive end of things again, and I do think that is something that Klay Thompson has been missing from his game for some time now. If you all know, he did have an ACL and also Achilles injury, and those two guys are considered career-ending injuries. Yes, guys, you heard that right. Not just season-ending, career-ending. But to hear Klay Thompson come back, play complete basketball once again, and to drop 27 on the Washington Wizards like it's nothing and provide defense is fantastic to see from someone like Klay.